If you like ducks, dogs, training, deer hunting, anything outdoors, then this is the podcast for you guys. This is the Flying V Podcast. I'm Thaddeus Bass. I'm your host for this beautiful ride, and I'm assisted by my co-host, Mr. Changmore Vang. You can tune in every week and join us as we talk about anything and everything under the moon that you guys want us to talk about. Some facts, some fiction, and a whole lot of opinion. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's hop into it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to 50 States of Waterfowl here on the Flying V Podcast. And I'm excited to be with you guys this week because we're traveling over to the East Coast all the way to Connecticut. And we've got one hell of a guest for you guys this week. It may not be a name that resonates with you, but once you guys see it, you guys are going to be super excited, okay? Once you get to talk to him, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to actually get into it and start this ball. So what we're going to do this week, we got Matt Wettish coming on here all the way from Connecticut. He's going to be doing some talking with us. We got Vang in here as well, guys. But before we hop into everything, I just want to say thanks for stopping in. If you're on one of our podcast platforms, do me a favor, guys. Hit that follow button. Show us some support. And head over to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on there already, just drop down, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and stick around. Like I told you guys before, man, we got 52 states to go through, and we're on state number 7. So we have plenty of content coming at you guys, and it's going to be steadily coming for the next year. All it takes to support us is just hit a button, and there you go. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well at Flying V Outdoors. Always posting some new stuff up on there. And I've got a project coming up. I know you guys are like, wow, how many fucking projects does this guy need? But I've got another project. I thought of it, and we're rolling with it. And I think this one is really going to be great. It's something that I want to do, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm just teasing you guys, but hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, I'll have everything hashed out, and we'll be able to release it. So, Vang, are you in here, buddy?
What's up, my brother?
All right. So we got Vang. It's really hard to get Vang in here 2 weeks in a row. But we managed to do it,
Yeah.
God willing. So how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, my man. Going off with this weekly recap, I went to the game fair, but I couldn't find Forrest's booth. So
How did you not find it?
Honestly, I was looking around. I was more interested in just seeing all the cool stuff they had there. So I wasn't really paying attention to their booth.
Forrest.
No, not even. Sorry,
All right,
Forrest, if you're listening, it's not like I wasn't looking for you.
Well, I'm gonna text him and let him know that Vang is too cool for dive bomb.
But it was really fun experience. First time wanting to go to the game fair, and finally took the time to go out this weekend, and it was fun. And then I've been searching for ammo all week, found some at the local Walmart, Wally's World, and bought some of this.
You got early goose knocking on your door next week, don't you?
Yeah, next weekend, and then we got Dove Wednesday, so try to hit that up. So that's why I've been looking for ammo. So I found some. And today we went out shooting, practicing some of my trap shooting, you know what I'm saying?
How did it
look? Drop some birds. Very well, actually. I think I'd say I've only missed about 10% of my shots.
I don't know. I'm calling cap.
It's hard to believe, but it's believable. You have to see it to believe.
Were you shooting trap or what?
Yeah, and guess what? With my 20 gauge.
I don't know. We're gonna have to send you a Tactacam so you can show us the truth.
Listening Tactacam, I'd be gladly to shoot some.
Man.
And had to help out my uncle move, so I was in a rush to come back, try to get in here, and I joined you guys today.
I heard that. It's been a busy fucking week down here in Louisiana for me. It feels really like a big blur, and it's just like, and it's only been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I feel like I've been going nonstop. Work's been busy. Yesterday I was up at 4 o'clock, didn't get home till 11 o'clock last night. And just going, doing stuff. We were at the Delta Waterfowl Banquet last night, talking to some people about Tactacam and all that good stuff. Yeah. Brought home another painting. I have this bad habit of going to banquets and buying paintings. So brought
Very
home
nice.
another painting, but it's a dog pick. It's really I got it for hopefully for the kennel one day when we actually build a
Nice.
kennel. So that's in the plans, is to build a kennel.
Is is that secret that you're keeping?
No, no, that's
Okay.
literally like I said, I
It's
have
another
so
project.
many fucking projects. It's not even funny, and I don't know. I hate myself because my brain just keeps on like firing off this stuff, and then like
Yeah.
the little devil on my shoulder is always like, "Yeah, dude, do
Hey,
it.
you've got the
You can do
drive.
it." So I figure if I try about 10 different things, one of them should be successful.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So we're just going to keep on firing. But we did launch the Facebook page this week too, for Flying V Retrievers. So kind of been keeping it in the dark, but we went semi-public with it, I guess.
Mhm.
Looking to take on a couple dogs to train. And that again, man, with what we got going on now, in the next couple weeks is going to depend on whether or not I keep pursuing that. It's I don't know. It's fun. Life's fun when you just keep on rolling with stuff. So I've
I-
never been
I'll
one
give
to
you
sit
I'll give you
still.
one of my dogs to try out. I'll give you my dog to try out first.
Dude, we've already talked about this, and
So
I'm
we know that it
still
works.
waiting on it. I already have proof. Proof's in the
She'll
pudding,
see you
buddy.
in January.
But it's fine. She can still come. I'll have a seat for her. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking at adding on a garage slash kennel. I don't know if you've priced stuff, man, but everything's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then, dude, next weekend, like you said, dove season opens up here. We don't get an early goose season here. Arkansas does. Been talking to a buddy of mine who actually went up to South Arkansas, Arkansas, did some scouting up there, and we might be doing some early goose. I don't want to say we are because I don't want to let everyone down and expecting a video, but we might go up to South Arkansas and try and do some early goose hunt. But regardless, next Saturday we're going to be in the dove field,
Hunting for sure.
and we're doing pretty well this year as far as birds moving into the area. I've seen a lot of doves around. And the teal numbers, we've actually been seeing teal here already, so we might actually have a good teal season here this year. But again, I'm not going to promise anything. That'd be foolish. But yeah, guys, this week, like I said, we've got Matt Wettish here from Connecticut. And Matt's got some stories to tell all of you guys. And I think it's going to be a good one. You guys should really enjoy the show. But Matt, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, man. I made it back just in time after going to get my beer while you're doing the intro, man.
Perfect. All right.
Awesome. Welcome, Matt. Welcome.
Well, Matt fits right in with us, guys. From the brief chat we got to have before the episode, real laid back guy, and he has seen a lot of shit, and he's here to share it with you guys. So, Matt, if you want to just go ahead real quick and just kind of introduce yourself to everyone, kind of let them know how awesome you are.
I am the same as everybody else out there, man. I'm just a guy who's weekend warrior that tries to get it done. I guess I've just been blessed a little. I was at the right time at the right place. Been in the outdoor industry for 25 years plus, and exposed to people that I don't know how I was exposed to, became friends with, icons.
Yeah.
Tim Grounds was, God bless him, before he passed. I don't even want to get emotional at the beginning of this, but he was family to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that guy to death, and amazing influence on my waterfowl hunting and everything, and as well as everybody else that kind of came along with that, hanging out with that crew, was the zincs, the foils, just on and on and on, powers and all that, and it's you name it, it just keeps going.
Oh yeah.
So, but quite honestly, it's time in the field, it's exposure, it's taking that knowledge, and I feel blessed to have had that. What I was explaining to you guys earlier, I didn't have a learning curve; I had a learning spike,
Hmm.
and being able to pass that on and help people out is just a blessing. So that's it, man. Now I'm nothing special, man. I'm just kind of a guy like everybody else out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you said
The,
that, man,
the,
because
the birds screw me just as much as they do everybody else.
I and passing on the information in this sport, waterfowl particularly, uh, I just feel like people are a lot more secretive and they don't like to help as much as other sports. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the way that
It's
kids are
it's
being raised these days. But
it's not just waterfowl, man. It's everything,
hmm.
and I love being able to help somebody truly make a difference. And perfect example on a simplicity side. We'll excuse me, we'll veer away from waterfowl and go to turkey for a minute. But
Yeah.
it's real easy for me to say, all right, what are you shooting? They tell me, and they're like, I'm shooting high brass sixes or whatever, and I'm shooting an extra full choke. And I'm like, well, is it a turkey extra full? And they're like, well, it's an extra full. It's not the same, you
Yeah.
know? And so if I tell somebody they can get a Carlson's choke, turkey choke for their gun, shoot Winchester Longbeards, and just let it fly. And they will have a pattern that is going to be so effective that, sure, they may go to other chokes and other ammo and all that. But
Hmm.
guess what? You're going to have to test and test and test and test. And as long as you're taking ethical shots, you're never going to have to worry with that combo.
Hmm.
To be able to turn somebody on to the simplicity. And I've never had somebody come back and go, dude, man, you suck ass, man. This is completely wrong. It's, oh my God, that pattern's incredible. Thank you. And to
Yeah.
be able to alleviate that issue. And when you transition something like that to waterfowl, it, you know, okay, Vang, you were talking about going out onto the trap range.
Yeah,
Okay. And you were shooting today.
yeah,
And I can tell you what, I've been in the industry, I've shot competition shotgun, I've done law enforcement, tactical instruction, I've shot it, I did live fire demos, full automatic weapons all across the country, on and on and on.
yeah,
So there's a reason going into shotguns. You're standing on the range, Vang, and you've got a guy standing next to you with a $30,000 Perazzi
yeah,
or some insane, $10,000 custom Beretta or whatever it may be. And guess what? They've got Briley's or Carlson's or some other choke
right,
manufacturer's choke in a $30,000 freaking gun.
yeah,
Hmm.
Well, guess what? There's a reason for that. There's a reason why the people that are at the Olympics shooting trap and skeet do not shoot the chokes that go with the gun, because there's gun manufacturers and there's choke manufacturers.
Yep.
And you can take a decent any gun and take that standard choke out of it and put an aftermarket choke in there. And not just anything. Don't go for the tightest, go for what you do.
hmm,
Go. I'm not a pass shooter. I want their feet down. If I'm pass shooting, those birds are only about 20 feet up, 30 feet up tops. They're 10 yards,
Hmm.
15 yards above me. I'm not taking stretch shots. I can kill these things with dove loads if I wanted to, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
So you get yourself a good choke and a decent load. You don't need to spend insane amounts of money. I was sponsored. I shouldn't say was. I have a relationship with Winchester, and I have since the 90s. And back in the day, I was given cases and more than I could ever shoot in a season of bismuth when Winchester owned bismuth. And I told the guys, I said, listen, I don't want to shoot this anymore. It was awesome, but I don't want to shoot it anymore. And they're like, why not? This is kind of our premier gig. You know, this is our deal. And I said, every single person I talk to, they say, what do you shoot, man? Oh, man, tell me what you shoot. And I said, I shoot bismuth. Oh, my God. I can't afford that. Well, guess what? I can't either. So why am I shooting it?
Yeah.
I'm not. I suck. I'm not a good shot. I can connect. I can kill my birds. I can get my limit, whatever. But guess what? I'm not a 99 out of 100 shooter. I'm not a 98 out of 100 shooter. I'm solid 80s. You know, I can do good, but you know, I'm not paying $250 every time I pull that trigger.
Right.
Yep.
Every time I pull that trigger, I'm not seeing freaking empty shells going. I'm seeing a fucking beer. I'm like, God damn, my beer money's going. I'm just shucking beer money out of my gun. And you know, as I'm pulling the trigger, I'm like, son of a bitch. And so I don't want to have to go from, you know, my IPA to peels or Schlitz or something, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I want my IPAs. So I told them, I said, you know, I want to shoot your premier steel good round. And I started shooting that. And guess what? There was no fucking difference. You know, you wait for the right shot. You don't take the stupid shit. And you get a good choke and put it in your gun. And guess what? You're not going to have holes in your pattern. You're going to kill more birds.
Yeah.
If you're in a place where you need to stretch the shots, trust me, those guys out there, Vang, in Minnesota, I tell you, you know, especially back in the day, they would assign you blinds. You'd go into public land and said, you get this blind, you get that blind, you get that blind. And you were on these public lands and you didn't get to scout. You didn't get to go where you wanted to go. They sent you to these places. Those birds have been shot up there for years, and they're not cupping in and landing. They've seen every spread on the market. So guys are taking 60-yard shots. So then you accommodate for that. Get out in the field, put out pieces of cardboard, get your shot, find out what pattern's best. Guess what? It may not be triple B. It may be, you know, Bs or double Bs or whatever. Find out what shoots best. Find out what pattern's best, because every choke and every shell is going to pattern differently together with your gun.
Yep.
So
That's why it gets expensive.
And yeah, exactly, man. But I'll tell you what, you want it. I guarantee everybody out there that says, oh man, you know, I'm not that good of a shot. I bet you every single person out there is a better shot than they think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
I'd like to think I'm a good shot.
No, some suck. I get it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, I mean, I would say at least 75% of people who hunt don't pattern their shotgun.
No, they do for turkey, but they don't for waterfowl. Why is that?
And when you do, it will blow your mind. I think it was last year we patterned them. I bought that case of what were those shells we bought, Vang? Oh, I bought those Federal speed shocks that we got on rebate. Yeah, it was like $90 for a case. It was a steal. And then I got a new gun. Shot them through my new gun last year, and I just wasn't hitting shit. So I went to pattern it, and the pattern was just horrendous. Looking back, throw in some Super X's, like the gray box Winchesters, $5 a box or whatever.
Yeah.
And it patterned like a dream out of that. But those, when I was shooting my Benelli, they patterned like shit out of my Benelli. And the speed shocks patterned great. So like you said, I mean, every gun is different to shell and choke. And you're going to save a lot of money in the long run if you just spend the money and find what works best, because you're going to hit more shots and you're going to shoot better. So
now, are you shooting aftermarket chokes?
I do. I use Carlson's.
There you go.
That's what
Awesome.
I got in my gun right now.
I told you before, I don't have a single pro staff, and I think that the pro staff name has been watered down. I used to feel proud to be able to say that, and now I think it's kind of a diluted um, title.
Yeah.
But I have a great relationship with the guys at Carlson's, and not only that they produce an amazing choke, but they're good guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about a company. They're good people. You call them, they're going to get the right choke for you.
Yeah, I was turned on to them. I guess it was 3 years ago now, by a friend, and ordered a choke, and it patterned great. It worked great. I had no issues out of it, and I never looked back. And that was it. I never had to try another one. So I'm along the lines of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
That's it.
I got it. I paid the money. It worked, and I'm happy with it. So we're gonna steer back on course though, Matt, because we are
Dude,
pro,
there's
man.
there is
I'll-
nothing straight about what I do.
I'll tell you right now, we're prone to rabbit holes, and anyone who listens to the podcast knows it. We go down them, and we go deep.
It
So
happens
we're
every
gonna
week.
we're gonna have to try and stay
Yeah,
on
we're
track.
supposed to talk about Connecticut, aren't we?
That's right, but with Connecticut. So you're born and raised in Connecticut?
I am, sir.
All right, and where at in Connecticut are you?
I am central shoreline. So if you take Connecticut and split it with the Connecticut River, I am about 10 minutes from the Connecticut River on the on the western side, and I'm about 10 minutes from the shoreline. So I've got puddle ducks down the Connecticut River and geese. I've got farmland going all the way up the central part of the state for Canada's. We've got the ocean for broadbill for puddle ducks.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a plethora of waterfowl here. My main focus, I've done sea ducking, I've done the broadbill thing, uh I've done the what do you call it, shit, yeah, now I'm trying to pull it out of my ass. Yeah, brain fart. um Anyways, I've done your sea ducks, and I've done, your puddlers get pushed down as soon as everything freezes up.
Yeah.
We get woodies in the swamps. We do have flooded timber that's kind of cool. We got really dynamic hunting because of the Connecticut River being tidal.
Yeah.
The farmlands going up through the Connecticut River. Obviously, the Connecticut River goes from Long Island Sound all the way up to the Canadian border. So it's a great flyway, and we see all sorts of stuff. My main gig is Canada's. I just love thumping the shit out of them things.
Yeah.
And, they shit all over everything. So it just is just
Yes.
there's just that much more appreciation for knocking their dicks in the dirt.
Yes. When I see them here in the summer, I'm just like, just wait till it's hunting time.
Yeah, but those are the ones you can't kill.
Yeah. Wait till they move around.
Those are the ones that go to the grid lines. You see them on the local golf courses, and which I've killed them on. You see them on the the football field and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Connecticut in the Northeast is one of the places that is on my list of places to hunt. Which, as we find out every week, I add a new state to that list. But I think the Northeast is kind of at the top of everyone's list, just because of how diverse it is and just all the different things you can do. And like you said, the most intriguing part is just the different varieties, and you get species more consistently than we could ever imagine here. And granted, we're not in neither the central nor the Mississippi Flyway here. We're just right in the fucking middle. So we kind of pick and choose off each of them. But yeah, the Northeast is definitely a place on my list of things to visit. But what do you think the most prominent bird that you guys see there is?
It really depends. Obviously, because of the diversity, it really depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you really want to say what's the most predominant bird, I'm going to say the fucking cormorant.
That's everywhere, I think.
So, I mean, but we've got mergs, we got bufflehead, we got goldeneye, we got broadbill, we've got old squaw, brant, we've got Canadas, we've got,
Hmm.
I mean, on and on. That's just going on the saltwater side. We've
Yeah.
got teal, we've got woodies, we've got mallards, we've got what everybody sees as the coveted black duck is our like gimme every day. It's like okay, yeah, we got our fucking black duck. Where are
It's
the
like
mallards?
it's like a Louisiana wood duck.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I mean, so we've got all that going on, and then we've got a cool migration. We've got obviously the resident Canadas, which are all the way up through all the states in New England,
Yeah.
which are your big birds, they're your giants.
Yeah.
Um, but then we've got a migration of graders that both come out of Canada as well as Prince Edward Island, on and on and on, and kind of come down that
Yeah.
uh, Atlantic flyway and in through Connecticut and that New York border as well. So there's a huge diversity of birds. And to say which one's predominant, it really depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We've got a migration of Canada's that comes through here, and on my fields, depending on when you're going, it'd be a small day of 2 to 500, and during a solid migration, it'll be 3 to 5,000.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
that's not big in any means as far as the Central Flyway is concerned, when 20, 30,000 get off a roost.
Yeah.
But around here, that's pretty significant. But we also get your mallards coming down are going to be awesome. The wood duck hunting in our swamps, and our beaver ponds, and our flooded areas is just killer.
Oh
We've
yeah.
you know we don't get the diversity of teal. We do have some good teal hunting, but I would say our woodies are kind of our more dominant timber kind of duck.
Okay.
We do have great, we've got a bunch of mallards and all that, but it's
So for the Atlantic Flyway or at least for you, when you get teal, are you getting blue wings or green wings or an even mix or?
yeah, no, we're definitely not getting an even mix. And quite honestly, I mean, the teal, I would say, are tertiary as far as a bird is concerned.
Yeah.
Our early season is definitely gonna be mallards, blacks, and woodies. And
Okay.
quite honestly, that early season is gonna be your woodies predominantly.
Yeah.
Our early duck season, it's going to be your first light. Holy shit! What was that? Oh goddamn! It's shooting time, and the woodies just, you
Yeah.
just hear those wing beats go by.
Hmm.
And then as you're looking low on the water for the woodies to come by, you hear, and there go your
Hmm.
mallards over your head.
That's how it works. And we talked about that last week, I think, with Forrest. Louisiana, one of the beautiful gems that a lot of people take for granted is our amount of wood ducks and the consistency of wood ducks when you're hunting. It's always, most of the time it's going to be pass shooting. They're either going to be a pass shot or they just suicide straight in. You don't even know where they came from.
Yeah, you hear them
Um,
land,
yeah.
and
So
you try and discern which one of your decoys is real.
exactly, and that's the thing is a lot of people take for granted. They're like, I'm sick of shooting fucking wood ducks. But that's one of my favorite things is, I mean, if we don't have a good migration or a good push of birds, I mean, we at least know we got 4 or 5 holes where we can go in the morning, shoot our 3 wood ducks, and be out of there before the
Well,
sun is like
well,
fully
yeah,
risen.
people get greedy. There's an
Hmm.
experience, and I did I did a podcast with Field and Stream for fishing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to relate this to what you just said. You know, he was talking about opening day trout fishing. And when you're in a stocked area and it just get carpet bombed, you know, everybody throws their lines in at once, you know, and everybody's just, you know, just everybody's lines are getting tangled and everybody's just hammering shit. I got a limit and I got a limit and I got a limit. You know, everybody's looking for the limit and everybody's like, oh, you know, I got my woodies. I got my woodies. Well, guess what? You take those woodies away and what do you got?
You got a sunset or a sunrise.
Exactly. You know, so there's got you know, people got to stop thinking about and this is kind of coming from me and it's going to get off the fucking Connecticut thing again. I'm sorry guys. But you know what? So I've dealt in over 25 years with all this trophy shit and chest pounding crap of I got a limit and fuck this and I killed this and I killed that. Guess what? Enjoy being out there.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your birds. Get your, you know what? If it's your 2 woodies, all I got is my 2 woodies. Well, guess what, man? I didn't even get them. You know?
Yep.
So enjoy it, man. Just treasure what you've got and enjoy those birds, man, because I'll tell you what, you take them away. If somebody says, okay, man, you know, you're sick and tired of all those woodies coming by. Well, guess what? I love those woodies.
Mm-hmm.
Take them out of your bag limit and see how many people fucking throw a squawk about that.
Oh yeah. Well, and like you said, man, I've said it before. I think last year we posted a video. I posted a hunt video as me and one buddy and my pup, and we had a blast. It was one of my favorite hunts of the year, and I think we killed like 5 ringnecks, and that was all we killed. We were out there 6 hours. But I mean, the whole video, we were just fucking laughing and cracking up and just having fun trying to shoot these damn things.
Yep.
And it was almost just a shit show of a hunt. And it was so much fun. I shared that video, and I think a lot of people clicked on it like, wow, this video sucks. But to me, like, that was one of my favorite videos that I made all year last year.
Because people are in that mentality of the kill.
Well, and I think social media is one of the biggest things to blame for that, because it just turns into this huge pissing contest. And with YouTube, I mean, if you just type in duck hunting on YouTube, all you're going to see is like North Dakota 12-man mallard limit and this and that, and that's all blown up on views. So that's kind of one thing we've tried to stick to, or I've tried to stick to on the channel, is just, you know, and it goes back to what you were saying with helping people. I started it a year ago just to share information with people. I was a new duck hunter at one point, soaking in everything I could. I've been new to many things. We all have. And without those mentors and those people kind of showing you the ropes, I mean, we'd all be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. So the whole idea of our channel was literally to share my information, share my experiences, and hopefully help some people along the way, and give me something to do. And then it's grown to the podcast where, you know, literally the podcast was, hey, I don't think we're putting out enough every week. Let's talk for an hour and try and help people and answer questions. And so at the end of the day, social media is kind of like that dual-headed dragon, and you got the good side and the bad side. But
hey, Thad, you're helping me. You're teaching me. All right.
That's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's
what's
important.
Man. You got one. You just chimed in. We're good.
Yeah.
Well, perfect example. You know, I hate to use the word, but pro staff guy, you know, an industry person reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, one of the guys that my son grew up with is up in your neck of the woods. He wants to go hunting." I'm like, cool. I get it. He's away from home. He's a Alabama boy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 25 years old. Come to find out, he's offensive tackle for the New England Patriots. Now, this guy this guy can hunt wherever he wants. Okay?
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. It's not like, oh, I can't afford to do it. He doesn't want to be the guy. He doesn't want to be the football player. He doesn't want to be the offensive guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I'll take him, but I need to talk to him first. I'm just not, I don't care who he is. I need to talk to him before he's coming on my field.
Yeah.
So I get on the phone with him. First question out of his mouth is not, how many birds do you kill? What's the limit? What are we shooting? Blah, 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 blah. Is, do you hunt with a dog? He was immediately allowed on my property. When I got him out in the field, now this dude, I'm one of those guys that kind of I hug my buddies, girls, everything. I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
It's when I see my buddies I haven't seen in a while, I give them a fucking hug. That's the way I am, So I go up, I meet this guy, I give him the guy hug, and I'm like, dude, I've never hugged a building before. He's fucking 6'6", 315. He's a brick freaking shithouse. So I'm like, perfect. You're carrying the decoys as I set them out. So as we're walking around setting 20 dozen decoys out in the spread, he's talking about missing how he hunts with his dad and how he's got 2 dogs in training back home. And, he misses hunting with his buddies and everything. And I'm like, this is the kind of guy I want in my field. That's what it's all about, man.
Oh yeah.
This limit shit and this, I do better and I'm the freaking king of the world. Shit's got to stop.
Yeah, and that's just, like I said, that's just kind of how it is. And last year we had just a god awful season. And I think we were talking about it. Last year I hunted more days than I think I have in any duck season in my life, and I killed guaranteed the least amount of birds that I've killed in any duck season in my entire life. But it was still just, it was great. And it was Boone's first year, my pup. I wanted, that's really the main drive I had last year, was just getting out there every day, just trying to get as many birds under his belt as I could, watch the sunrise with him. I don't care if we're going by myself or my buddies, it didn't matter. And like you said, at the end of the day, just looking back and when I'm thinking about duck season, I'm not, yeah, it's nice to think about mallards cupping up over the trees and dumping in, but when you're thinking about it, you're just thinking about sunrise and hanging with your friends, the jokes, the laughs, the good feelings. It's a good time whether you're shooting all kinds of birds or you're just out there with 3 or 4 dudes that you call your friends, and that's what it is for me anyway. So,
and that's why I duck hunt and pheasant hunt, because deer hunting and squirrel hunting, you're kind of just out there by yourself, and it's not as fun when you can't shoot the shit with somebody, and you could just talk shit to them if a flock flies by and we all miss, and it's like, that was your shot, or that was your shot. So that's what it is. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, you're right. It's I'm trying to pull us back into.
Oh, yeah, we got to get back into Connecticut.
But we got people wanting answers. We're gonna have to get you back on here, Matt, once all this shit's over with, so we can just have the Matt Wettish show. Because I could do that every week.
Yeah.
But coming back at you, Matt, what got you into hunting? Was it family, or how old were you when you first started waterfowl hunting?
I think we lost Matt too.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him.
There we go. You there?
Okay. Yep, there we are.
All right. Gun dog again. You there?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, the dog came over and knocked the thing again. So
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. So shit, I don't even remember how young I was when I started, but I can let's put it this way. I was young enough as far as hunting in general. I can remember crying when my dad would leave on a rainy day to go deer hunting. And my dad's like, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because it's raining." And he goes, "Why are you crying? Because it's raining." I'm like, "Because I know you'll get one." Because he was a still hunter, and he always, if he went out on a deer hunt when it was raining, man, he always got one. You know, it was like
Yeah.
ridiculous. So, uh, at a very, very, very young age, I mean, I was brought up eating venison and hunting upland birds, and the property I grew up on was called Partridge Run. So, woodcock
Mhm.
and grouse and all that kind of stuff was all part of the game. But waterfowl is, unless you're down by the shoreline and you're actually kind of steeped in it, waterfowl was huge in Connecticut and New England back in the day. It was
Yeah.
actually, they actually had punt guns, market hunting, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. But it really died out.
Yeah.
And a lot of that history of waterfowl um kind of went with it. So there weren't a ton of waterfowl hunters because, I mean, again, we can get really crazy into this, but 80% of the state of Connecticut used to be fields. And
Yeah.
all this, so everybody waterfowl hunted because all the game was gone. Now it's the
Hmm.
opposite. Now about 75% of the state is wooded. So now everybody's back into the deer and turkey and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now you get this timber hunting along the rivers, you get all this. But around us, it is very mother nature dependent. And quite honestly, being friends with people out in the flyway and Illinois and some of those bigger waterfowl states,
Yeah.
mother nature, she's the biggest bitch I know. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
pardon the F-bomb, but she will fuck you every chance she gets.
Yep.
She just will. And um so I listen to people, and it's funny because people think, very straightforward about what's wrong with hunting.
Yeah.
And they don't see, like this year, I can guarantee freaking to you, people are going to say there's no fucking ducks. Oh my God, there's no ducks around here. We're not
Everywhere.
seeing any ducks. There's no ducks. This year sucks. I can't believe it. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm planning on saying that already.
Well, guess what? We have had more rain than we've had in over 50 years here this year,
Really?
which means every freaking puddle, every water hole,
Mhm.
everything that will hold a mallard, a wood duck, a black duck, whatever, is going to be filled with birds in the woods because they're going to be eating acorns. They're going to be eating the shit
Yep.
that they want the most.
Yep.
They're not going to be on the Connecticut River. The Connecticut River does not have the food. It's a migration route.
Yeah.
But if they can be in the woods where they can get their nuts, there's a reason why there's a thing called a Cajun squeal. They talk about the pressure on the voice box of a duck, creating that
Mhm.
higher pitch of stuffed crop. So, there's these birds are going to be more spread out this year.
Yeah.
And unless we get a crazy freeze to force them all back to the river, people are going to be fucking crying the blues.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like the Midwest. You get the Central Flyway, and people that are used to seeing 50, 80, 100,000 Canadas or mallards or whatever it is, if that snow doesn't fall and things don't ice up, those birds don't get there.
Yeah. Yep.
So, does the hunting suck? Are there no birds? No, there's plenty of birds. They just never made it to you.
Yep.
Last year, people were complaining and saying, "Oh, freaking birds suck. There's no birds. Our flyway sucks." Well, guess what? In December, a friend of mine sent me a freaking picture of a wood duck in a stream in Maine in December. That freaking duck is supposed to be south of Maryland by December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I understand, and we're like I said, I'm in Louisiana. We're literally the bottom of the fucking flyway.
If you don't get weather, man, you're screwed.
Yeah, man, that's what people don't understand for us is, and it's not just, we're not just relying on, Canada. We got every fucking state
Yeah, you got North Dakota, South
above us.
Dakota, you got Illinois, Missouri, you've got them
So
all.
we're just praying, and like I said, that's why I don't take my wood ducks for granted at all. But
there will be birds that come regardless, but
Yep.
not in the droves that people quote unquote expect.
Well, in North Dakota or the Dakotas with their droughts this year, I think they're going to be suffering when it comes to waterfowl production as well, unless they have a big turnaround.
No doubt. And quite honestly, I like these hard years. Last year being warm and the birds not creating that migration, that means not as many as are killed.
Yeah.
We had shit tons of freaking ducks on the river once things froze up and our season was out. So that does nothing but good. So when you have a few years of not a good season, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good production as far as the health of the birds.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So we're in a very weather dependent state as far as how good we are, because I can tell you right now, my average good day for Canada's is 1,000 birds, 1,000, 1,500 birds, coming over us, not like in the distant, 1,000, 1,500 birds having an opportunity is kind of our average good day.
Okay.
And like when I've had times when, that'll go all the way through the end of December.
Mm-hmm.
I've also had times when it's frozen up in the beginning of November and all those birds that we should be hunting for the next freaking 6 weeks are gone.
Long gone, yeah.
They're kicked out. Or you get a snow at the wrong time, and those birds just pass you by.
Yeah.
So our state, as far as, as far as a good hunting state, it's phenomenal. But I wouldn't recommend making it a destination. Because you want a destination. Birds are eventually going to make it to Louisiana and Mississippi. You want to get the bottom end of the flyway, go for it. Get those ducks. They're going to be down there. They're going to the rice fields. Texas is an unsung hero.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. But other than that, go to fucking North and South Dakota, man. Get them before everybody else beats the shit out of them. Shoot into flocks of 150, 250, 300 mallards as they buzz you at sunrise, because Connecticut can be awesome, but you're rolling the dice, man.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the mindset and the capability to adapt and say, okay, the birds aren't on the water. Where do they go? And so many people are used to just sitting on the river and glassing it and looking for birds and not doing their homework to say, well, the birds aren't on the river. Well, guess what? It's not because they're not here. They are here. Where are they?
Yep.
So it's tough, man. It makes you hunt, makes you a hunter.
Oh, yeah. And it's really similar to what we have here. And just talking to Vang, he wants to come visit and hunt down here. And I have another buddy back in Indiana who wants to come down this year. And they're just like, hey, when should we come, man? I'm just like, dude, I mean, just I just have about a week's notice. Just put the money aside and just be waiting, because if we don't get cold weather, I mean, you can come fucking hang out, but you don't have to come during duck season because it'll be the same thing.
Right. You can always catch a bus.
Yeah.
But if you got some money, man, just set it aside. And just wait, and I'll give you a call and say, hey man, you got about 7 days to get your ass to Louisiana if you want to kill some ducks. And
Well,
that's kind of how we live our season. And it just depends, man. 2 years ago, opening morning, we had some cold weather early, which we open mid to late December or November every year. So we just hammered the birds. We had a whole world of gadwall in the area. And it was just me and a buddy. We shot our gadwall. We shot our limited gadwall. And then we sat there for an hour, 2 hours in our kayaks and just called birds and just kind of took it all in. Last year, opening morning, I don't even think we saw a 2-man limit of birds.
right.
So it
Yeah.
just depends on our weather here as well. But
Yeah. I've
with
got, I tell
go ahead.
people October for Canada's, we've got a 2 weekend slot where they open it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, you want to go, that is the instinctual migration, not the weather forced.
Yeah.
That is the birds that are instinctually moving because they know they should.
Yeah.
They're not being forced because of weather or anything like that. You want to come for a knockdown drag out, that is the time to come. That's when I've done my TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I've hunted 26 out of 50 states, and the absolute number one saying in every single one of them was, you should have been here yesterday and wait till tomorrow.
Yep.
Because that's the way it is, man.
Oh yeah, and like you said, man, it just comes back to Mother Nature, and so many things have to come together, and that's why us guys who are in the less fortunate states, man, that's why we appreciate waterfowl hunting so much more. We're built a little different, and I'm a firm believer in that. But what are your seasons like in Connecticut, Matt? When do you guys open up? And
They suck. Oh no, I'm sorry. We basically I'm not going to name the dates of the seasons or anything, but
Yeah.
we open up our early Canada goose migration, our September season resident birds. We got a 15 bird limit that is half hour. Let me see, half hour before sunrise, which is normal just about everywhere, to a
Yeah.
half hour after sunset. So
Okay.
you want to shoot a roost. Plus, it's no plugs in your gun.
Really?
15 bird limit, no plugs, half hour after sunset. You want to wait till the end of the September and sit on a roost with no plugs for a half hour after. You pick a rainy day on the last week of September and go sit on a roost and see what happens. It can get ugly really quick.
Really?
But other than that, we have open and closed seasons between puddle ducks and sea ducks, and we have what's called just like we have an early season for Canada's for the non-migratory, the giants.
Yeah.
We have a late season, which is really cool.
Okay.
So after all the migrators go through and all the hard weather comes in, basically from the second week of January to the second week of February, we have a 5-bird Canada limit that's basically all this. It's the southern zone of the state, which is everything on the shoreline.
Yeah.
And that don't take me for verbatim on that, because it's not. There are
Okay.
regulations as far as shoreline, but it's basically your shoreline area.
Yeah.
Everything's been pushed. Everything that doesn't want to leave for the Canadas has been pushed to the salt water that doesn't freeze. And they're eating on all the golf courses that are on the shoreline and everything. And there's a 5-bird limit that goes through February 15 about.
Okay.
So basically, we've got waterfowl hunting of some way, shape, or form everywhere from September 1 to February 15.